Hey. Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic.
It is, okay. Thank you.
Discord. Discord now reminded me that as a corporation, they care about change in the world. And I, I get it. I'm happy that I'm seeing corporations make these like posts and whatnot, but yeah, man. It's like there's been a lot of weird stuff going on in the world for a while. At this point, I think you're just late to it. I don't think you can make that post weeks after. Like I think you got to be on the tip of the spear. Like when Nike comes out and says, Black Lives Matter or wear a mask or whatever the like the incident or the issue is of the day. I think you got to be at the tip of the spear. If you're the follower, it becomes very hard to not seem like you're just not genuine about it. So anyway, and I don't say much about it because everybody knows where I stand. So been here since '92. Um, you know,
Through your actions, most people will know what's going on. But
that's it. Black Lives Matter. Wear a mask. And let's get going here with the feedback loop. All right. This couchbot's fired. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. It's time for the feedback loop. Hope you're doing well where you are. We got a light load this morning. That's really good because I actually have to bounce out of here and into a meeting pretty quick. So we're gonna make this pretty fast today. By the way, Kara, good luck, kiddo. Kara and her family are eagerly expecting, and they're right on the cusp of it. This is going to happen soon, so I'm super excited for you. But you got to focus on you. All right, you got to focus on you. We've got Eve in here, and Eve does not want to look at the priority guides. But a quick reminder. The UX writing exercise has been updated, and now there is a priority guide writing exercise to go along with that. That was added over the weekend. I don't know if I dropped that in or not. Although this is not Eve, this is Kara. Oddly enough, we're talking about Kara, but we need to come over here and get Eve's priority guides to load. That's me. And sometimes Figma does this, and I'm never quite honestly sure why Figma doesn't just pop me over into the app. That's probably a question I should ask Figma, but I'm not going to right now. I'm going to come up here, and we're going to talk about Eve's Healthy Eats progress, because when we last spoke to Eve, and I've turned off the guides, by the way. That's Control G. Yeah, Control G. That turns off all the guides all at once. Eve kept seeing me turn the grids off manually, and she had to scold me. And I appreciate that. I do. But when we last looked at this, Eve was over here, and as you can see, this prototype is very robust. So she's got her home page, she's got a plans page, she's got an on the menu, a sign up, a menu selection screen. We still need to see more about this menu selection screen, but she's really focused right now on cart, checkout, and confirmation. And as she notes here, new pages. Let's hide the tools here for a second. So we've got new pages for, this is the checkout, and this is basically like where we enter in our payment information. She has some delivery details here. And Eve, one thing I was wondering about, we have this review plan meals delivery piece here. I want to make sure that okay, never mind. This has been entered. So this is, when you're in your cart, I'm wondering about the language here, because, welcome plan meals. You've selected your meals. Now you're in your cart. Proceed to checkout. I feel like I'm in the checkout, it's almost like continue with checkout, but you know, I get it. I think it still works. But I did want to. I kind of had forgotten where we were. Like you had this screen where delivery was happening, and when you're looking at things piecemeal and you're kind of parachuting back in, it's easy to forget that. So delivery details. I almost I almost want to have like some sort of edit, like, oh, that's not what I wanted. So because you're kind of reviewing this, um, I I sense that I should be able to go back to cart. Like I should be able to click this and it'll take me back to cart. But maybe if we had some sort of like edit, if I want to edit those details, it should take me back to that screen and then I could continue and that would bring me back here. But that's just one thing I was looking for here is like, okay, well, how would I, if I said, oh, wait, that's not the right address or that's not the right contact, how would I change that? Here you've got your card details, so first name, last name, card number, expiration date, CVC. That all works for me. Billing address, so this is what we do if we say, oh, it's the same as a delivery address. This is what we do if we say, well, I'm guessing it actually opens in this form. So this if I say same as delivery address, it just makes this form go away. So I'm gonna guess that it opens here, and then if I click that, then it becomes this. But I would still like to have the ability to some trigger to go, oh, you want to edit that. So from here, I've got all my details shown, and I can place my order. And then one thing I do like is I think you're making a smart usage of the screen here. Like this is information that's locked in. I struggle with it a bit because it's different from my plan and my meals, but I can also see where like 3 yellow boxes would be like three outlines would be an issue. So there's that. It's one of those things like checkout pages are hard. That's the big takeaway here. Checkout pages are hard. There's a lot of various pieces of information, and they're just difficult. That's just all there is to it. Now on this side, it's kind of interesting. Like your confirmation page feels like the review page. Like here's your payment details, here's your delivery details, here's your plan, here's your meals, submit order. Like this feels like the final. Like this feels like the final view before I submit the order. Like the confirmation piece here, clearly that works, and I like the little illustration here. That's nice. But the fact that I didn't see that in its entirety as the final, here's your final details, last chance to make any changes. That's the only thing giving me pause. It's like you've got this final view of like your payment, your delivery, your plan, your meals, and you're seeing it on the confirmation page. I think it's fine, but I'm glad I'm seeing it on the confirmation page. I am glad I'm seeing it here. But my question is it should this combination of information be presented back to me before I place the order? And because typically, like typically that's a step. Like you enter your details, and keep in mind, you could have multiple screens that are part of this checkout phase, if you will. So I think this is, instead of place order, it feels like it's review order because I can't. It's like enter payment info and review order. Okay, so I've entered my info, and I'm not really getting to that review order stage. Okay. Um, so I think this should be add payment info, add payment info, and then this should be review order, and then you get to a screen that has all of this stuff on it minus the confirmation, and it says place order. Like you have, here's what your order, here's what you've got, here's what you're ordering, place order, and then you come back with a confirmation. That basically looks like this. I think that's really the tweak that I would consider making. I don't feel like we ever give them an opportunity to review what they've entered in full. It feels like we're reviewing part of what they've entered, but we're relying on, hey, yeah, this is your billing info, this is your card info, and we're just going to go with that. And it does seem like we should have that full review page, but it's a minor tweak, to be completely honest with you. It's not a huge deal. If you decided to go with it as is, I'm sure I can find examples where it basically kind of skips over this, right? But I can also find ample examples where we have a full review page and then we place the order. So something to consider. Overall, though, I think that it's holding together very well. I do believe that this has a very consistent feel. You've clearly developed a style that permeates throughout, which is good. And yeah, I'm excited to see you finalize these components and get it into prototype form. I think you're right there at the cusp. Today is what, the 24th? Yeah, you could be testing with this by the end of the week if you really wanted to. If you really kind of push through early next week at the latest. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna check
CouchBot. Oh, actually, CouchBot's fine. Kara, yes, no problem. I appreciate it. She's checking back in on daily stand-up.
Care for all my students. I do. That's one of the reasons why this program is meant to be flexible. It's month to month. Things come up, and you might have to dip out for a few weeks and come back in. You shouldn't be penalized. You should not be penalized for that. That's one of the big ways and advantages I try to make things work for you. All right, that's where we're gonna wrap it up, though. I think Eve, you're on a good track. I just want to see that idea of review looked at, and otherwise that's it for us. Very short feedback loop today, but that's okay because got a meeting coming up right around the bend. So for New Pragmatic, I'm Chris Cordy. This has been the feedback loop, and I will chat with all of you again tomorrow. Take care.